Good evening. This is a meeting of the Cemetery Commission. It is October 7th, and we are in the kitchen. And it's around 7 o'clock. Okay. Um, I don't know why I printed myself a copy of last month's agenda, but not this month's.
Hey,
Okay, did you get a chance to read the minutes from
I did.
last month?
Yep.
Okay. Have you read them, Shirley?
yeah,
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
so moved.
Okay. To approve. Betsy. Second, Jean, I'll second for the official second. And, okay, so here's the list, Shirley. I still can't believe it. I'm so stupid and didn't print that. I'm gonna be beating myself up all night.
All right. I've got a few things, so we'll just run over. Number one, I'd like to continue with the groundskeeping, housekeeping that we've done in the past. One of the things, and we can bring this up down in old business if you wish. I've been thinking about that rose border that we had some discussion about. And my thinking is, we'll wait till next spring so that the invasive growth is not like it is now.
Is that the
Rose
Rose
border,
of Sharon? Is that
No,
the one?
no.
This is a
the
different one?
rose border that goes
Oh,
along.
along
whole
the back
around
there. Yes, okay, I know what you mean now.
We talked about taking care of the invasive stuff that's in there, the grapevine and the bittersweet.
So hold the cleanup
It's better
on
to
that.
deal with it when it's just new rather than
Not so,
taken hold. Yeah,
so till next spring.
and I'd like to continue work with the arborvitae. We can discuss that further down. The other thing is that I met with the town administrator to discuss the paying of an outstanding bill. And we clarified that. The bill was approved by him and we signed it and sent it on to be paid. We also clarified, I know that we had discussed this before about the work that the tree warden would do for us. And if you like, we can pick that up down in old business, if you wish.
Yeah, we probably should go through.
These are just, my thoughts for the report,
Yeah.
that's all. The estimate for the wall that we haven't got yet, but hopefully we'll have, it was recommended that we get that so that we can pass it on to capital planning. And the other thing is, when I was up here last week, I picked up the water bill. So if you want to make note of it and then hand it to Betsy, it's another bill to be paid, Betsy.
Okay.
That was, you said we need that estimate so we can pass it on to community planning, is that what you said? Community planning, is that?
Community capital planning.
Capital.
Capital planning. They're the ones that determine in what order we get things taken care of.
So Betsy, do you have any idea when you're gonna get that stone wall
I talked to Brian Lewis, who does dry stone walls, and he's out of Mendon, and he was gonna go up and take a look at it and send me an estimate. I checked the box today, and it's not there.
Is that L-E-W or L-O?
Lewis, Brian Lewis, Lewis.
Okay.
Landscaping and stone walls.
Okay, so that's the name of his company?
Yes.
Brian Lewis
Yep,
Landscaping?
and,
Digitano? Did Digitano look?
he did, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard from
You
him.
haven't heard? Okay.
I haven't heard from Jared Carter
Either one
either.
of them,
Nope,
yeah.
so I haven't heard from anybody.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Betsy, when did you say he was going to try to go up and look at that?
He said he was gonna go sometime this week. I just think that the people that do these sort of things are very busy this time of year, and that's
Yeah,
fine. I didn't
that's
tell
right.
them there
No.
was any hurry, so
That's a problem
I'm
we
not.
have, you know.
not, worried about it.
It's
Yeah,
hard to get a hold of anyone this time of year.
I just think that, you know, obviously we're gonna give him some time to get up there and look at it and
Right.
and present you with something. I don't know what's the lead time on getting something put into the capital planning board?
Well, the sooner we get it in, the more they can put it on their agenda, you know, that's all. Because they have a whole list of things.
Right, but if
They prioritize.
yes, but if we want to try to get that, so we could get some money for next year's budget,
Mm-hmm. The
there
sooner the
must be a
better.
cutoff date for when you have to apply for those things.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any clue either what it will cost. It might cost $20, it might cost
Yeah.
$2,000. I
Yeah,
have no
yeah.
idea.
So we'll give him some time,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know.
Digitano has worked
If
for us
necessary,
before.
contact him again.
But he doesn't do stone walls.
No, but he does do stonework.
He does like cement work,
Yeah,
but he doesn't do
right.
stone walls, so that's why I thought somebody separate, because he told me that.
Yeah,
So, just let me write-
but he has worked for us. He's done stuff with stones, you know.
Yep, that's what he told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he came up and he looked at it. That
Yeah.
was
No,
well
it's-
over a month ago.
And he's
so-
very reasonable. Yeah.
And then check back with them. You see, give him a couple of weeks at least to, and even if, you know, when we contact him again, just, you know, just wondering if you did get up there to look at the wall, and, you know, if so,
Well, the other two, I looked at it with them, so I know they looked at it.
okay.
So,
Do you think it would be worthwhile to reach out to them and see if they've begun putting their estimates together yet?
Jared Carter said he was still working on his. He's the one that you and I met with.
Okay,
And DiCatano, I have not heard from at all. So,
still waiting from the two others.
yep.
So, waiting. Was one of those that Hanlon and
No,
that's
those
something
are the,
else?
yes, that's something else.
Okay, so what are these other two company names, Carter?
Jared Carter's, that's the one that you and I met
Yeah, I
with.
remember that name now, yeah.
Yep,
And that's the name of his business also?
Jared Carter's Landscaping and, yes.
Landscaping, okay. And Di Gaetano was the other?
Yes.
And he's a landscaper also?
No, I think he just does stone masonry.
I'll look up how to spell it, Gaetano. Masonry,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can look up the exact spelling of his name, so. Okay.
All right. That's just for
Oh,
your information there, and then Betsy can have it.
Yep.
New bill.
That's hers.
New. This was the water department, you said?
Yep.
$50. Is that pretty standard, that price? Is that usually what it runs around 50 or?
I don't think a lot of people used it.
I think it was 50 the time before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people use it, so.
When do we usually turn that off?
Yeah, they usually turn it off after Labor Day.
Is that something we should look into then, getting it? Who do we talk to about that?
The water department.
Water
Yeah.
department.
Usually they have a cutoff time. Either you can call them, I can call them if you wish.
I can give them a call if you
All right.
want. I mean, you make phone calls, you make phone calls. I'll make a phone call to the water company and what, just ask them if they could turn off the water
Yeah.
at the center cemetery?
Yep.
Because the line freezes if they don't, so.
Water department, I can do that. Call. And that's the only cemetery that we have water at?
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
none on,
Yeah.
on the other two, correct? Okay, thank you. Next,
Treasurer's report.
There were no lots sold this month. The only bills that were paid this month was A&B Mowing and Demco.
and those are the ones we signed before, or that
Yes.
went in before,
Yep,
right?
those were all paid. There was nothing else paid.
Okay, so,
Um,
no new other than the water.
and I called Guyer and Hanlon for a quote to replot the cemetery, and they were going to go up and look for it. Going to do it. These are the markers that were all broken.
Yeah. We tried to get someone to work on them. And it was apparently more money than they anticipated, so.
Well, these are the ones where they spread the loom, broke them all.
Right, right,
Yep, you can go along, and we picked them all up.
right.
And they go in between these here, so
Right.
they mark the markers, so those would go in between the four.
Oh,
So
so
that you
they,
know where
it's
the
signi-
plots
oh,
are.
oh, they
Yeah.
have the numbers
Yeah,
on
we
it.
picked them all up. My daughter and I went down and picked up all the trash in the cemetery. We cleaned up all the dead poison ivy that somebody had left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
Now, you called him, did you set up a date? Or do you know when he's
They're gonna go up and look. They did the replot, the original plot.
Right, so they're just gonna kind of
Yeah,
familiarize
yeah.
themselves with it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the person that did it is not with them anymore. So they'll have to go through their records.
Oh, she said they did.
No, I'm just saying the guy that did it is not there.
He's not? Who did it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
I didn't know that. She didn't say that to me.
No, no, it was just,
Did they, when they go up and look at it, did they give you any indication if this would decide if they had to actually go up and measure again, or however they
Probably
first?
they would, yeah.
Or if they have a copy of their plot that
Yeah,
they
we have a
would
copy
know?
of the plots.
Yeah, we've
They
got
just
the
have to
blueprint.
replot the land and replant all these again.
Did they put those in
Yeah.
before? They put those in, okay.
Yeah, and then they were all dug up and broken.
Again, okay. To remark.
So I hesitate selling any more plots because there's no markers any longer.
Right, we.
Where
said
anything
that,
was.
Yeah, and it makes sense, I mean, you don't wanna end up having one that's half in one site and half in
well,
another.
before this, we did have to do
Did you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that must have been
There
fun.
was no marker, we just, whoops, dig a hole and bump into something. That happened.
And Barbara Rizzi's already got all her stones up.
Does she?
Yep.
Wow. Well, I guess that's the way to go. Get it ready if
All
you
right,
can.
we'll go on to old business.
Yeah,
The first thing, ways to prevent stone wall from being hit.
I don't think we've come
No.
up with anything on that yet. I don't, what could we do other than put some kind of a bollard in front of the wall? Especially the inside wall, which is the place that was hit.
Right.
And I don't think we wanna start putting these bollards up all along the inside of the wall.
And we have quite a few stones that are lying down, so
Yep.
Yeah,
that's in, I think, more so in the two than, I think South Street's not too bad.
Well, there's quite a few broken ones there too.
I think from my experience, the ones on downtown, on Pine Grove are a lot. You think
Yeah, there's a
so?
lot in all of them. Yeah. There's probably about 30, 40 in Douglas Center. There's probably about that amount in South Street. And on Pine Grove, there's probably, then there's stuff that's underground that you don't
Well, I
even
think
look.
Pine Grove, there are a lot that are, who knows where they are. Yeah,
Douglas Center ones, I think, are buried.
yeah.
Because there's a whole area where there's like no stones, and I think there's stones underneath there.
Have
Well, I
you
think-
had to do this before, to raise up stones before, in the past?
I think yes, but it depends. In other words, when you pick them up, what are you gonna do with them?
Yeah, well,
In
you
the
have to have a
past-
plan ahead of time.
Yeah,
for
in the
sure,
past, because there are no plans. In other words, what the mower did, and it used to be done by the town, they just would pick the stone up and take it to the border and just prop it. I think that's what happened in Pine Grove, because when we did that,
I remember you
replacement
saying
of
there were
that,
about-
there were
yeah.
piles of stones, no indication of where they would go. And with no plans,
So it looks like we have to look into maybe different ways to raise these stones up. Maybe we can do some research online or something, or contact other,
There's a
in the
cemetery.
in the literature, what they suggest you do is put them in a safe place.
right, until you can.
Why
Yeah.
should we shouldn't move them though? That they don't move them anymore. I mean, if you move them, then you remove them from where the body is.
Well, you don't know where the body is because the stones have been moved several times.
Well, I'm not moving them. I can
You
tell you
know.
that.
Yeah, but
No,
once
but
that
one of the
happens-
recommendations, if you find an old stone and you don't know where it is, the recommendation is to put it in somewhere. In other words, in a safe
To
facility.
protect it, yeah.
I'm
To
not doing
protect
that.
it. I'm not suggesting that we do it.
Nope. Good.
All I'm suggesting is that the recommendation, that's why when we tried to salvage, I told you that, Debbie and I went up because these stones from these children, it was hunt children. So what we thought is that we had noticed that they had been moved several times. And they'd been propped against trees, they'd been propped against a wall. And they were really, really beautiful headstones. So she and I went up to get them. And we were going to take them to the Historical Society and then contact the Hunt House. Because, you know, I have stones in my basement from my old house. So because they were Hunt headstones from 1812, was it 1821, I think. And there were two children. They had already been removed. They'd been taken. And I can understand that because they were just delightful obituaries, you know, beautiful poetry.
Yeah, some of those stones.
Yeah.
are
So what
quite
they're
nice.
suggesting is that so that you don't lose the carving on the stone, that you
Right.
get it into a safe place so that it isn't damaged by erosion and the climate. That's all. Because they have historical significance.
Well, I think that's, you know, that protection theory is good. The concern that I would have is making sure there's a way to identify where that stone has to go back when
Well, there
ready
is,
to be.
that's the problem.
So-
We don't have that. yet.
Right, so if we can't know for sure
Yeah.
where it's gotta be
All
put
of,
back.
this is the only identification
only thing
that we
we
will have for future reference. There are no references to anything on paper. Okay? So your guess is as good as mine as to where these things go,
Okay.
you know? So therein lies the dilemma.
Okay, so
And
we can do some research, find out
Well, there's
best
pictures
ways.
of all the tombstones from South Street and Pine Grove, where everybody is buried, so they are documented.
some-
Yes. Nope, they're in the library.
Oh,
There's a whole
they're in the
album of
library.
every stone and who's buried there and where it's located.
Oh, okay.
So-
I should go look at that.
Yep, Douglas Center is almost done. I have a little bit left on it.
All right, the next one is letter to selectmen.
I have nothing on that.
This in, oh, for increasing the board, okay.
All right, so I jumped, and then this one is remarking of plots.
Yep,
Which we already covered.
yep.
And then your review of work recommended by Full Circle.
Yeah, I have nothing.
All right, comparison of Full Circle recommendations for,
I talked to John Furno and there's no border in that cemetery, so there's no need for that border to be there.
What
We could bury people all the way down to the walkway if
Which
you wanted
border
to.
are you talking?
There's no cemetery border to the house.
To the next house?
Yep, we can
It's
have
wet.
all that. We
But
don't
it's
need
wet.
it. Oh, it's not wet.
it's wet.
Well, I walked down there, it was dry.
Okay.
I haven't walked down in there, so I don't.
Where the house is?
The reason that we made that delineation is because of the wetland that's right there.
Oh, well, but there's no border. I mean, there's no,
No,
Boundary
Right.
between the
No,
two
right.
properties.
Yep.
Yeah.
so
No.
all of that really belongs to the cemetery.
Okay,
yeah,
it's just if that, there is a wetland section that you might have to like leave a
yeah.
space.
Well, you had mentioned
To
wetland
them.
up there. So,
Mhm.
Okay.
But not where the house is. It's down further back in the end.
No comparison.
all right, so the next two items,
No, she said she hasn't compared Dewey's estimates or recommendations to the cemetery, the
No.
nothing.
guideline.
Is he going to clean up that area where he poisoned everything? Or is he just gonna leave it all there?
Poison what?
All the poison ivy that he poisoned, it's all brown and dead all over the
Yeah,
stone.
Over
Okay.
to the left
Sure.
there.
He's gonna clean it up?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to stay dead.
No. It's rather unsightly.
All right, the last one, nothing, right?
Oh, those two lines go together.
Okay.
They, it was too long to get on one, so that I
Okay.
was gonna get it.
You have any questions on the next any of them?
No.
And he said Full Circle is good to go again, right? There's no
Yeah, well, I
more-
wondered if Betsy, it was
there's no more
Betsy's issue.
with
You
that.
know?
Oh, he was paid already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and,
wasn't gonna come out of our budget. Because I didn't get anything on it.
no,
but he said he's all set with the town, there's no reason we
Okay.
can't use him.
Okay, I don't have any reason to use them, so.
I just meant, you know,
Yeah,
next
I
year when we
understand.
start doing all our stuff
Yeah,
again.
no,
Just a recommendation.
he gave the approval for it.
Yeah.
And no
Take care of
invoices,
that.
and no quotes on
And we
masonry.
already talked about that.
All right, so we're still waiting for everything.
yep,
Yep.
Well, rather than waiting, I'd like to do something.
Okay, well, we know that the replotting, said he's gonna go up and look again, and look at that. And then the other landscapers for the walls, you haven't heard back from
nope,
those two.
I have not.
Okay, and were they about a month ago they went up too? We probably should give them a call and see when they, if it's been a month and they haven't sent an estimate yet, we should maybe. I mean, if you wanna email the contact information, I'll be glad to call them if you're busy.
Okay.
I'm gonna be making.
I just think that if they were that interested in doing it, that they would have sent me a quote.
Yeah, but usually when you ask a company for an estimate, they send you an estimate because otherwise they're not gonna get the business.
Correct.
So that's, I'm surprised that this long they haven't sent one.
Well, if you know, if
I
they
mean,
haven't
if you're
responded to
busy, cause I
Betsy.
know you have a lot of things you're into too.
I do, but,
Yeah.
I mean, they asked me where to send it, and I said, you can send it right to the town hall, you can drop it in a box, you can email it to me, you can, I mean, they have plenty of options.
Well, you think we should maybe give them a little more time? If we don't hear from them by next meeting,
Well,
then we have to call.
I would like some action, that's all. Do you want to, between the two of you, see if you can get in touch with them?
Well, I'm willing to try to get in touch with them if you just
Sure, go ahead.
email me the contact information.
Okay,
And if they don't want it, he'll outprice it, you know?
Yeah,
The
that's.
same
or just
thing.
ignore me. Right?
That too.
That works very
That's
well.
always a possibility.
Well, I do know that anything to do with landscaping, you can't get a response from people in the summertime, you know? I know from
Well,
my
I know they can be
experience.
busy too.
They're-
Summertime,
it's a
that's
busy
when they're
time, yeah.
busiest.
Yeah. But, you know, here we have this list of small items that could be attended to, you know?
Jared Carter, I talked to like 3 times, so I don't know if you wanna try him a 4th.
Have you talked to him recently?
Yeah.
Yes,
They're
because,
usually out in the field. I know when I call, I ask him if he's up a tree, you know?
well, cause Barbara asked me if I would hire someone to do some landscaping on her stone, so I recommended him.
Okay. All right, well, you just spoke to Jared recently.
Yeah, I spoke to him last week, actually a couple of days ago.
Okay. Well, then send me Di Gaetano and I'll contact him and see
Okay.
what he has to say. And if we haven't heard from Jared by
And you know who-
next month,
well-
then we'll
Someone did,
put a fire under it.
yeah, Ray Beager did some work for me years ago.
He's not licensed. He told me he wasn't licensed and he wouldn't do it. He's not, or insured.
Well, he
He
couldn't-
also works for the town, so.
Yeah,
Nope, he already told me that.
okay.
Okay.
Well, there's a different criteria when you work for the town.
Oh,
than a-
yeah.
And a lot of people didn't feel comfortable with the stone
Contractor.
wall because that was it's a dry wall, it's not something that's cemented, so that has to be done by somebody that
Okay.
really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the, like Deacantano didn't seem comfortable to me.
Put that in here, then I won't lose it.
All right, if you want to discuss on this listing here with these small amounts, it says here, the entrance of Southwest Maine, there's 2 large arborvitaes and 2 large cedars.
What's he want to do, cut them down?
No,
No, he never wants to cut a tree down.
Good. What does he want to do with
no,
them?
if you read it, it says to raise the lowest 10 to 12 feet
Oh, cut off the low hanging branches.
because they're onto the stone.
Okay,
When the
what's the price?
when the growth interferes with the stone, 350.
Well, I would like to suggest that maybe we save our money till spring. I don't know how much the replotting's gonna cost. We have about $3,000, we've used about 65% of our budget. I don't know how much, we have mowing in the spring as well as now still going on, and it's $14.50 per mowing. That's my thought.
Well, that'll take half our budget.
Right,
If they come again.
right.
Well, they took money out of our budget, so remember that.
Yeah, I know. But we still
Um,
have to work with what we got left.
All right,
Right. We've
For
got
the-
about 3,000, just a little over 3,000 left.
for the $350, in other words, we could at least have something done. We can also have something done for $20. And we can also have something done for $120. If you go over
Did
the,
we get a quote from someone else?
no,
We have to use him?
no,
Good.
and we're not spending the time doing that. And we don't have to, because it's not $10,000, by the way. I don't know why it is that you don't want to use this person.
I don't see the need for all this work or the money to be spent right now.
So you don't think we should do any grounds work at all?
For now, we have 3 things listed that we haven't gotten estimates for. I don't know how much those are gonna cost.
No, but those most likely will have to go to capital. Most likely. Because
Well, we'll see.
we're only always within, we'll say, a few $100s of our budget.
I mean, 2 more mowings and we're down to $400.
Yeah,
How often do they mow?
They'll probably mow one more time and then they'll mow a couple times in the spring. We don't get a new budget until July. That's,
Well,
and they did,
we,
as I said, we do have, they did take money out.
Yes, they did.
They're aware of that.
and these things that we're going to be getting estimates on, I don't think we're gonna have the money to take it out of our regular budget anyway, especially,
It will have to go to capital.
it'll have to go to capital. So, I think we can get, even if we just pick 2 of the smaller items on here to do that, and then if we haven't heard anything by next month, we can do a couple more. We'll have time in November to get some more trimming done.
That's what I would like to do. I'd like to at least do something each year.
So we can pick a couple of the lesser value ones, if that will, like do the 20 and the 120, that's $140. Do those, see if anything comes up by next month, and then we can give them a couple more to do if it hasn't. Keeping in mind that we want to make sure, by then, they'll have probably done their last mowing by next month. I don't think they're gonna be out mowing lawns in November.
never know.
So $14.50
And I
for
can give them a
one.
call and find out.
Yeah, we can find out what their schedule is, but I think we can still do a couple here and then have the money there for the spring mowing.
I could ask the town, maybe they'd do it for free.
I can't comment on that.
I don't, I mean, who does it for the town? Who does it, they do it themselves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do the common.
The
We
on-
can't,
the
we
only-
can't do that, Betsy.
The only thing I would say is
That's what you tell me.
Matt had,
No, you can talk to the
Matt
town
had
administrator.
said,
I don't need to.
Matt had said that he has no problem if we have an emergency tree situation, branches overhanging that could be onto the public way, that could be a safety hazard, rather than wait to get Dewey up there to cut it. Those emergency situations, by all means, call John Furno.
Yep,
But for anything that's going to be scheduled, he wants us to stay with
He doesn't
full
like the
tree,
idea
full
of
circle
him
tree.
going into the cemetery and taking trees down. That's not appropriate.
So because he said, if it's an emergency,
So you both talked to Matt.
we were
Wasn't he
both.
supposed to be at the meeting tonight,
Who?
Matt?
I
No.
thought Furno was, John Furno.
No,
No,
that
it
was
says
last month.
Yeah, I thought it said on the agenda that he was going to come and speak to us.
No, I think I said that. We spoke to him.
No, I wanted the bill paid for Full Circle.
Good.
So,
What
It
did
didn't
you-
come out of my
isn't.
budget.
What
It
did
didn't
you
come out of the
just
town.
do?
Yes, yes,
No,
it did.
I didn't. it's not-
well, it will, it was last week, okay?
Oh, okay.
So that was,
Because I just got one today and it hadn't been paid yet, so.
okay. He was the one that approved it, okay?
That's fine.
Well,
Like I
I'm just
said, it's
letting
not
you
on my
know
report.
that, that's all. It was an issue for you, all right?
Yeah,
It
'cause I'm
wasn't
not
an
gonna
issue.
sign that.
You don't have to,
I don't,
because he signed it, I signed it, and Jean signed it.
fine.
Okay,
And,
as long as you
You give them
know.
all the business you want.
and we got the okay from Matt, so, and he agreed that we're not gonna find anybody cheaper to do this.
If we need the work done.
Well, yeah, if we need
If
the
we
work
need the
done.
work done.
But, you know, these are things that, if they're not
He
emergencies,
thinks we need done.
well, he's the expert. And if you're having an expert work for you, then you should consider what they say.
Betsy
It's
is
being-
not gonna agree,
Well,
so.
that's fine, she doesn't have to.
I don't.
And, you know, we'll just
You
move
can
on.
do whatever you want to do. That's correct.
Well, we don't wanna do things that way, we wanna talk about it among all of us.
There you go.
So, which we're doing,
Yep.
so. So I'm okay with picking a couple of lower priced items, because we should make sure we have the money to get the lawn mowed in the spring, and we know what that's gonna cost. So, we've got time to get a couple of little things done anyway, Shirley, so.
You go ahead, you choose. You be the one to make sure he gets his money. I don't have a conflict.
No, I don't either, I'm willing to pay him, it's just,
No, well, it's indicated that I have a conflict, so.
oh, okay, so, why don't we do a couple $100 worth, so, do you see below the, 350?
I think what it
now?
is, and I would have to go back up there and look, but I think what it is a few gravestones, and they have these huge arborvitaes, you know, and so
Yeah.
they're like down onto the stones.
Onto the
All right,
stones.
so the lowers, so you just raise the lowers.
Yeah,
So you can read the names, et cetera, that's all.
yeah,
So it doesn't drape over the tombstone.
right,
So with the 400 and the 50 taken out, we have 3,000 left.
3,000,
Yep, that's 2 mowings.
okay.
So there's a bill here, and then there's the 400 that hasn't been paid out of this yet. Does that change your thought?
Well, maybe we pick one thing.
Okay.
Why don't we take care of those arborvitaes?
Yes, whatever, go ahead.
By the gravestones, that's $120.
By the Hewitt.
Yeah, they're the
This
ones by the
Hewitt grave,
gravestones that
yeah.
you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think this one here, these 2 large cedars, I think they're, but I'd have to go back up there and
Yeah.
look because,
Well, we wanna make sure the tombstones are visible, and that could also do damage to the stones if
Yeah.
they're on there, so
all right,
have them do that one, get the grave site itself cleaned up.
whatever.
And how much will that be?
120.
Okay.
So you don't want the rose,
I don't
What
think
are
we
they?
can afford it this year.
no, I'm just saying,
The rose
by
border,
saying the rose border, you seem to say there's no need for it.
there is no need for it.
So what would you suggest, that we dig them all up?
Well, I don't think somebody can even do that.
Well, we planted them,
I know.
and we spent money on planting them,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was an extremely reasonable amount.
I'm sure. Vendor number, vendor name, Douglas Water.
I gotta put an asterisk near my
Invoice
number
number.
so I know what to do. That's how I identify my tasks.
$50.
Okay.
I just don't wanna go over this. If we go over this, will they give us extra money?
I don't know, I've never been in,
Me either, so.
was they just gonna, oh, dates.
Somebody can sign that
Yep,
for this.
this is for the water bill.
Yep. Cause I can just put it in the box and they'll pay it right off.
Okay. Um,
Did you vote on that?
vote on,
Having the $120 done?
oh, no,
Everything has to be voted on.
you're
You
right,
have to vote.
you're right.
I will vote.
No, I will vote,
I can't do that. You
Okay,
have to do
well,
it.
I will vote against it.
I will, well, you can vote.
I can, yeah, but you have to make,
I'll make the recommendation. I make a recommendation that we have Full Circle trim the large arborvitae at the Hewitt Grave site to raise the lowers that are overtaking the headstones.
second.
One opposed,
I don't know, do you wanna oppose,
or just not?
or do you wanna not
Or
say?
abstain.
No, I'll vote no.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Motion. Jean. Second. Shirley. Opposed. Betsy. Okay. And I will circle this so I know.
Next meeting?
Our next meeting will be November 4th.
Yep.
I will make a motion to adjourn at 7:45. Do I hear a second?
Where is the Hewitt grave? Have you ever been there?
I
The
don't know
second-
which one it is.
No, I don't either.
As you go
And that's what
in,
we're cutting,
as you go
cutting
in,
everything in.
as you go into southwest entrance.
In South Street.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go down and look at it.
Okay.
No, not South Street, Douglas Center.
There's a Hewitt down in Douglas Center? I didn't see a Hewitt down there. There's a Hewitt in Evergreen, and there's one in South Street, I think. But I don't think there's a Hewitt in Douglas Center.
Here, it says, the southwest entrance,
Yeah.
okay?
Southwest
In that,
Main Street
inclusive in that
entrance.
group.
The Southwest, I
All
live
right,
on
did you,
Southwest Main.
getting back to the vote, did you?
I live on Southwest, and there's no cemetery there.
I think he meant, what's that, north?
So
What's
do
the
we
other
know
street?
where this is?
What's the street that goes down the side? I always get the two names mixed up,
Okay,
too.
Southeast Main.
Southeast. I think that's,
Okay, so nobody knows
What do you
where it
say?
is.
I'm supposed to live on Southeast Main, because I get packages from
Yeah.
Southeast Main.
Betsy, will you second the motion to adjourn?
Sure.
So moved.